ZTNA or Zero Trust Network Access, there is no trusted network perimeter. Your access policy should be the same whether your employee is logged into the office network or connected to an airport Wi-Fi network. ZTNA from OpenVPN Cloud creates a per-app firewall and only allows authorized access to apps based on user identity and access policies. Conceal and protect your network by easily configure applications using domain names and providing identity-based application access instead. In the next segment, we're going to configure our WPC to provide ZTNA access for contractors to internal time card app and accounting team to accounting app. We're going to look at how we can limit access to only needed protocols for any applications. How to use access rule based on user groups, and these user groups can be assigned in OpenVPN Cloud Portal, or we can use LDAP or a SAML and we can map the groups. We're going to use the local directory for the purpose of these demonstrations. We're also going to look at how to access applications by name, and no IP addresses are going to be used. So there won't be any network segment defined or used or configured. You will see that no routes are going to be exposed. In the process, we're going to create network, and we're going to configure our per app firewall by defining a service and give access to only needed protocols. We're also going to install our connector on AWS. We're going to add our DNS records to our administration portal. We're going to create and verify our groups, make sure everything is set, and then we're going to define access groups. Okay, let's go ahead and start. As you can see, I'm on administration portal. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create our network. Click on networks and then click on create network. This scenario is going to be a remote access, so we're going to choose remote access and click on continue. Let's go ahead and give a name to our network here. I'm going to give it this name, and then for the connector also, let's go ahead and give a name. Now our AWS VPC is on the US West Coast, so the region is going to be Los Angeles, California. We're going to click on next. On this page, we're going to define our routes. I'm not going to do any private subnets, but we're going to add a couple of private domains. So one is going to be our accounting, and then the other one is going to be for the time card. So let's go ahead and enter that here, and then we're going to click on next. So here, this is where we're going to deploy our connector. Now, in order to deploy the connector, we need to choose the type, and our type is going to be AWS. As I said, we're going to launch it on AWS. Now we're going to type the region that our AWS is set. So we are on the US West 1, so we're going to choose that. And now you can see we have two options. We can launch the connector automatically on AWS portal, or we can download the script for the cloud formation. Now I'm going to do the easy thing here. I'm going to click on launch to launch it on our AWS portal. So this is basically going to get us to a cloud formation page, and we're going to create this stack. So as you can see, there are some information that you need to complete, and then click on create stack. Okay, as you can see, our stack was completed, and our connector is installed and it's running here. Now we're going to go back to our administration portal and continue with our network creation. Okay, I'm back on administration portal, so I'm going to scroll down and click on next. And here is going to check the connectivity to the connector, and as you can see, it's successful. So go ahead, click on next again. Now it's time to create the services. Next to the accounting, I'm going to click on add service, and I'm going to name it accounting to just make it easy. On protocols, I'm going to go ahead and choose custom, HTTP, HTTPS, and ICMP. And then I'll do the same thing for the time card. Just again, to make it easy, I'm going to name it time card. The protocols are going to be HTTP, HTTPS, and ICMP. Click on Save and then Next, and we're done with configuring our network. Now we can see our network is online and our connector is connected and online also. When I click on the destination services, we can see the two services that we have created for accounting and time card. Now it's time to create our DNS records. So go ahead, click on Settings, go to DNS, and then click on DNS Records tab. Here we're going to add a couple of DNS records, so click on the plus sign, and the very first one we're going to do, it's going to be our accounting. So I'm going to go ahead and type the name in this box here, and then type the IP address for the accounting app, which is 251, and then I'll confirm it. Then the next one is going to be for our time card, so go ahead, click on the plus sign again, type the domain and then the IP address, and then I'm going to go ahead 68, yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and confirm that also. So we're done with creating DNS records. Now let's look at our groups. So click on users and go to groups. As you can see, I got the accounting with 2 members and contractors with 3 members. So we need to create access group for each one of these groups. So let's go ahead, click on access and then go to groups. As you can see, I have the full mesh, the default access group here, which gives access to everything. We're going to click on create access groups. So this one is going to be contractors. And then on the left side, that's a who entities, basically, and then on the right side are resources. So here is going to be contractors. I'm going to choose under user groups, and then on the networks is going to be time cards. Then go ahead, click on create. Now we're going to create another access group, this one for accounting. So accounting, and then same thing, we're going to choose accounting here, and we're going to choose accounting on the destination, and then we're going to click on create. Now as you can see, I got the 2 access groups here. We need to delete the full mesh access group, so go ahead, click on the little trash bin next to the full mesh and remove it. Okay, now it's time to test our configuration. So let me go ahead to users, and as you can see here, Kathy is part of our contractors. So I'm going to go ahead and connect with Kathy's profile. If you remember, contractors can access the time card but not the accounting. So if I go ahead and ping my time card, I should get a reply back, and as you can see, I get the reply here from the time card. Now if I ping the accounting server, oops, I made a mistake here. Let's see, it should time out, so it's going to take a second. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring up the browser. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to access the time card. Here we go, type the address, and time card is come up. I can access the time card server easy. Now let's try the accounting. Click here, and accounting, the page should not be accessible. This site cannot be reached. So as you can see, Kathy can access the time card but not the account. So let's go ahead and close this. We're going to disconnect from Kathy. Now if you look at the portal again, Melvin is part of our accounting team. So we're going to go ahead and connect with Melvin's account. So let's go ahead and connect. Now Melvin is connected. We're going to do the same thing that we did with Kathy's account. So I'm going to ping the accounting first, and I can get reply as it was expected. Now let's go ahead and ping the time card, and it's going to time out. Here we go, request timed out. So I'm going to go bring up the browser again, and this time we're going to go to accounting first, and as you can see, it's accessible to Melvin, and we're going to try the time card now. And here it is. This site cannot be reached.